Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Peter. This is Tech Suvara, and today we're going to talk about what MQTT is all about, how it relates to IoT, how you can use it, and let's explore it. You most likely have heard of the term IoT, Internet of Things, little things connected to the Internet of Things, your smart home, smart bulbs, smart everything, smart uh, wall sockets, smart lights, smart doors, smart security systems, smart TVs, smart shoes, and everything else. So there we go. We got MQTT. What does MQTT stand for? MQTT stands for Message Queue Telemetry Transport. How does it relate to IoT? Well, it is the standard system for things to communicate across the Internet of Things. It is a very, very quick and easy system transport to implement. It is very lightweight. It works really simply. It works basically by having a publisher which sends messages, subscribers which listen to messages, and a broker which just basically delegates those messages around. There's no sense of the publishers knowing where they want to send the message. They're kind of like, okay, well, we're going to send out a message of information. Subscribers just listen to it. So it's not like a peer-to-peer. There's not really that much going on in terms of uh, finding different devices on a network. It's kind of like you connect to this one broker, you listen to messages, and that's it. And it works really well for small systems. It can be part of a larger system. There are other protocols and systems related to that, like Matter. That is another kind of Internet of Things protocol. But that's another topic. That's a topic for another time. We'll talk about that later. I know we talked about Matter in a previous discussion. So a little bit, we just mentioned it offhand. So we will talk about that maybe at a later date. But MQTT, so basically what we want to do is see how we can implement a very simple MQTT system. I want to set up a broker locally. I've had a quick browse around, so you can have brokers either locally or hosted. I found something that can be used locally, see if it works. So we're going to explore it. We're going to dive in and set up a project that acts as a publisher, set up a project that acts as a subscriber, maybe also a broker. Well, we'll start with the broker first, get that up and running, see if we can connect to it via a publisher and a subscriber using a Python library. We'll see what there is around. And that's basically it. So what would happen is you'd have a IoT device, say something running like a Pi or an STM chip or whatever other chip that you might want to have available that would have some way to connect to a network via Ethernet or wireless LAN. And then that would basically be able to discover different brokers or a broker on the network. It would then connect to it, publish a message, and whoever is listening to it would then be able to pick it up. These things are really useful. Say, for instance, if you have one control board that you have different messages that you want to send out. So I have used it previously on as a hosted system. So basically, we would have an app that would connect as a publisher, and it would send messages to this Amazon Web Service that would host a broker, and the broker would publish those messages out to the different connected devices. In the case that I was working on, it was a device that was a climate control unit. So it would listen to climate control messages, and the app would send those messages. And so basically, you have an app, they say, that you could use for different networks. I have currently a Deco system. I also have a what is it? A ring system. So those two I worked on. I'm still exploring this space to try and set up something related to a security system. I've got a Bosch security system I'm looking at to install myself and possibly use that in collaboration with this, if possible. If I could find a way to connect to the units and set up a system to be able to use MQTT on the security system to set up messaging. Bosch have their own proprietary system, so that's another topic of conversation a bit later on. But for now, we want to just find out how we can run this. We want to explore MQTT, messaging queue telemetry protocol telemetry transport, and it was created in the late 1990s as a possible simple way for devices to communicate. So it's quite old, and it's only really exploded in popularity since we've experienced the smart home Internet of Things wave that started about 10 years ago. 12, more, maybe a bit longer, 14 years ago, that wave. But let's jump in, let's explore, let's see what it does, and let's go. Hello, hello, hello. Here we are, and here is a quick start guide to a tool that we could possibly use as an MQTT broker. So I guess the first thing we want to do is find out how to install this. I was looking around for various local MQTT brokers that we could use uh, on, say, on Mac. I know there's one called Mosquito. I mean, let's install MQTT local Mosquito MacOS. Is it how to set up MacOS? Can we do that? I don't even know if we can. Maybe we can. MQTT and brew on macOS. Okay. There is this. We can try and start with AMQTT. And it's running a broker. Let's see. So running a broker, AMQTT is a command line tool for running. Okay, so we could use it as a command line tool. Let's see, read the docs. So we'll start with this AMQTT. See if we can get it going. Read the docs. The docs. No, I don't actually want to read the docs of how to do the docs provided. All right. So edit on GitHub. So is this a GitHub tool, right? AMQTT. AMQTT. It was forked. Okay, so this is quite old. Does it have an executable? It's on Python, so of course we can just run it. We can just do a pip install AMQTT. So we should just be able to run it. Let's see if we can use a virtual environment to do this. We will open up a new project in PyCharm, and let's see if we can do. We'll go QTT. So Python project, Scratch, location, no, new environment. Base interpreter 311. Okay, we want to use a new environment or previously configured interpreter. No. Why does it say that? I'm going to do this. Scratch MQTT test. All right. And let's load that up. So first thing I guess we want to do is start with installing the AMQTT library on this Python packages. We'll just use terminal here. Pip install AMQTT. We're going to install the dependencies. A new release of pip is available. What is this? Oh, okay. This originates from subprocesses, likely no problem with pip. Okay. So it seems like the dependencies list for this doesn't really seem to be happy. Error, subprocess gathering requirements. So if this was last updated in 2021, possibly we may not be able to do this here. Might need to use new project. Again, let's try and use 3.9 interpreter. And let's try that again. MQ test 2, possibly. This new window, we can close this window. We don't need it. Delete the project later on. So let's jump back into here. Let's try it again and do pip pip Python version. Should be 3.9 Python dash version. Yeah, 3.9.6. So let's go pip install AMQTT. And let's see if this one works. No, still doesn't work. This error originates. Not happy. I don't know if this is like a dead end written dependency double name. It could be that this just isn't going to work. Maybe we could try a new terminal. New terminal. Let's go to this one here. Let's go into our development directory. C. Let's go Python version. Let's see which one we're using here. Doesn't Python's not found. Ah, well, that sucks. That's gonna make things a little difficult in the root directory here. So it's not due to a change in Python 3.8 where the semantics of ASIC changed to be a subclass. Oh, so it really only supported 3.7. No. Okay, no, it supports the 3.10 by release. Interesting. I mean, we have pip, but we don't have Python. Well, I think it was Python 3. Whoop. Okay, yeah, we do have Python 3, but that's 3. Control D. That's 3.11.7. We could try. Let's try just Python 3 pip install MQTT. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna jump into. No such file. Wow, that's strange. Let's just do pip install QTT. Nope, same problem. It's saying it's dependencies. It's the 3.9, Python 3.9, homebrew cell. The license, here we go. This is the error that we got. The license file parameter is deprecated. Use license instead. Is that it? Okay, well, there goes that idea. We're going to jump into, so AMQTT is it's an open source item. So the other one was, I was going to look at, let's see, Paho. Paho client is a MQTT client, but we still need the server. And this Paho client is one that uses endpoint, like a web endpoint. So we could try pip, let's see, pip3 install AMQTT. I don't think that's going to work. Yeah, same error. Forget it. To update, run pip install upgrade. Yeah, upgrade pip. Let's upgrade it anyway. Last try. Let's try. Last try. This is it. Yeah. No, nothing. We are going to use this other MQTT client, and this one talks about using a MQTT broker, which is online. So we're not going to do that. We're going to try and install a local broker. Installing MQTT on macOS, MQTT Essentials. Okay, so this one's talking about installing Mosquito and setting up Mosquito. We've got Brew, so that's all right. Install Mosquito MQTT. Okay, switch to Brew install Mosquito. I think this is actually, I've seen a lot of tutorials about this online. They mostly rely on more of like a Raspberry Pi Linux-based operating system, so they focus on actually doing it kind of like a low level. This is more just to, play around with some of the ideas on Mac. I don't think, I've got a Mac that I'm running here, a spare one that I'm using as a server, file server. So if I could get an MQTT service running on this, then I could at least get things communicating. So you can pick up old Macs for like $200, $300. And funnily enough, the old Macs, Mac Minis, they're so cheap that they're actually, you can get like a secondhand one with, I think from 2015 for like a couple of $100 here in Australia. And then you can use that as a server. I'm not sure, yeah, like for MQTT, you don't really need anything other than a very, very small piece of overhead for managing the stack for that kind of protocol. So we're gonna sit. I don't know how long it's gonna take to install Mosquito. Run brew install Mosquito. No available double T. Need to learn how to spell mosquito. Okay. So there we go. Off we go installing it. It's not big, so it shouldn't take too long. The mosquito has been installed with the default configuration file. Excellent. Brew services start mosquito. So we can start it. So basically we install it and then we can run it. So we can with a conf. Next, run the following command. It's in the red box above to launch Mosquito with the default configuration file, the following output. So basically it'll tell us what port we want to listen to. And let's see. Okay, that's it. So default configuration files, we've got or if you don't need a background service, you can just run. To start Mosquito now and restart, no, we just want to do a temporary service, just have it running. Okay, so we have a port running on local system, so we can just local host will be 127.0.0.1. So local host no echo local host. Is that it? No. No, don't have anything set up there. All right. So it's running on port 1883, and so we'll go into Tahoe, and basically we can run. We've got our project here, so we don't have MQTT, AMQTT, Python. We do have Mosquito, and look again. I mean, a broker would be good to have some fidelity and control over what's going on. I'm not going to spend too much time trying to set up the broker because that's not the important part. The sensors that you would have and the messages that you would want to send would be the more important thing, and things that you want to receive on your server side. Basically, the way that it works is you have a subscription to a particular name, and it would be a name, and anything that's subscribed to that particular name would be receiving messages down that. So if you have something like, it's like a directory, right? Home dot devices, and if you could subscribe to that, you could also publish to that endpoint, and whatever you publish is like a packet that gets sent. You can publish it in any way, any form, pick it up, and then send it to the MQTT broker. So you could basically do it in JSON, do it in HTML. Depends on how you want to transform it into MQTT. Let's see. So we're going to go and install Paho MQTT using 1.x. We can do pip3 Paho MQTT. So let's just do that. Pip3 install Paho. Actually, this is the wrong one because this is using 3.9, and I'll just jump into PyCharm. Let's see. File. Close. We'll just open recent one. Recently closed. MQTT test. And let's try that again. So we'll do pip3 install Paho MQTT. Pretty quick. Beautiful. So this actually works. This virtual environment's using an old version of pip. Just do pip upgrade, pip install that in the virtual environment. And we'll accept our cookies so people can trace us on the internet. Follow the breadcrumbs about what I'm doing. All right. So we don't need to worry about that. We've got this. So the TCP connection from the client, we need to specify the broker address, port, and topic for MQTT connection. So we have the client, and we should have a publisher. So looks like we probably have two processes running here. Next we'd write unconnect, and this will tell us basically what we're connecting to. So okay. So that's a broker endpoint. I think that would be, I guess it would be, in this case, don't need to worry about this. We'd do 127.0.0.1, and I'll import random. Okay. Import this name, import rand. All right. Okay, rand int. Well, it doesn't like this rand int. Maybe rand int. We'll just do import random. That should give us every, yeah, there we go. Makes more sense. We don't need to do print high. And we'll just create a function here to do def connect MQTT. And so this will basically take the information that we've got from here and MQTT client. So we want it basically, we can import Tahoe MQTT. We just installed the library, so we should be able to Python packages, install Tahoe MQTT, add, we don't need to add it, import. What are we importing it as? .mq from Tahoe import, there we go. And we, okay, so this actually, what is it doing here? So on connect MQTT client ID. So it looks like this is actually got the wrong parameter name. That be it? Unresolved reference. What do you mean? It's right here. Ah, no. Client. So what is going on here? That's the def. Client equals MQTT client. Or maybe MQTT? Maybe like that. No. Can't find reference. So, this doesn't make much sense. It's like this test code for Tahoe isn't exactly working as like we wanted it to. This is TLS. We don't care about auto reconnect. There's a lot of errors here in this tutorial. So this is for publishing the messages, right? So we've got this client ID from Tahoe.mqtt import. Okay. Well, look at this. You know, they've kind of messed it up a little bit, to be honest. So we would go here and we'd go in Tahoe. Tahoe MQTT.client. No. So just go import Tahoe, right? Let's do that. And then work backwards. So go Tahoe dot well, it's not giving us anything really there. So client. So we'll try that. And then we don't need to worry about anything there. So go client unconnect. Okay, well, we'd need to create a callback because it's, so this is from Tahoe MQT2. So we go client, okay. So we'd need to do this one. Because we need a callback. Okay, so we'd publish and then run. So let's just rename this one. Rename this. In fact, to rename is publish pub.py, right? Basically, we'll replace this here. Publish client. Import time. This import, auto import. Import time. Time.sleep. doesn't unresolved attribute reference class time. Really? But just import time. Auto import really is like you know, it's not really that good. I was surprised. I would have thought it would be better than this on connect. So we do have a def run, and then do this. It's a and run, and we do client and connect MQTT, publish client loop stop. So we'll try to run it, see what happens in the pub terminal. Button pub.py connect. Well, it doesn't like that. Run. So it's saying the name connect MQT is not defined. What do you mean? Okay, yes, it's that thing again. Simple Python stuff. You have to be after. There we go. Now everything should run. Yeah, let's add a new line. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, module PAHO has no attribute MQTT. Interesting. So import paho.mqtt like this. Okay. Oh, that's what it's asking. And it doesn't know about that one. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, it has an attribute client. From PAHO, I can see why if you're naming things client, then you'd want to from PAHO dot let's see. Let's go import paho.mqtt. We have imported it there. And then we just go dot star maybe. Client. There we go. It should work now. Okay, so we've got client MQTT. There we go. So paho.mqtt. The only reason I don't want to do this as because I don't want to confuse exactly what we're doing. So I just want to import exactly what we need and not try to create aliases for it. Okay. Oh, excellent. So it seems it had a few issues. It didn't. What did it not like? In bootstrap self run. Traceback. Exception in thread. What is the exception? Self.packet handle. Handle connect. Connect? Can acknowledge would be it. On connect. Okay, connect MQTT locals.unconnect. That's interesting. It takes 4 positional arguments, but 5 were given. On connect. Okay, interesting. Not sure what that is. Would have to look it up. After we can try. Well, we've got an MQTT broker, right? So what I want to try and do is I want to turn off. I'm going to change the port, right? Because we're running on port 127. Okay, got a new connection. Okay, excellent. So we can see if we look here. Try that again. So, great. We got our broker working now. It's picking up a connection. Let's see if we can create a new subscription process. We'll create a new file and we'll just call it sub.py. And here in sub.py, we will, okay, for subscription. So same thing. We'll take the pub code and just basically dump it here. And we could create a library later on, share code, refactor, etc., etc. We've got PAHO 2.0. And we will basically, we've got the connect This is a little bit different. We have some unconnect calls. We have a subscribe function. So we don't need connect. We don't need a publish function here. We want a subscribe function to replace subscribe client as. It's giving us a type requirement on this for some reason. Paho.mqtt.client, and we'll just receive and decode it there. Again, okay, RC. All right, so in this case, when we connect here and subscribe. We'll do run and we'll do subscribe on the client. Simple as that. One does the publishing, one does the subscription. We'd have a device that does the subscription and basically listens to these messages and will respond accordingly. Very simple. Like in most other protocols, you just listen to messages, right? All right. So at this point, what we would do we would basically run the let's see, we'll go ahead and tab. We got Python. Whoop. Python. Whoop. Pub. And we'll go sub, right? So we'll listen. Oh, I didn't like that. So this is the. Oh, that's interesting. It didn't like it for what reason? Client unconnect. What about if we try? What about if we try the other one? Let's see. Will that work? No, unresolved callback API version 2.0. See migration. Okay. So something's not right here because even though we somehow connect to the client, it jumps out. It doesn't give us the fact that we're connected to the MQTT broker, even though we actually get connected. So something is going wrong along the line here. What happens if loop is not executed? Okay, so connect async. We don't really. Okay, what happens? QUNA. Okay, we don't have much time left, but what I do want to do is I want to figure out. Let's do a search. And we're going to. Look. Actually, connect Paho. If we do this, type out unconnect. Yeah, so this is definitely an MQTT, connect MQTT broker in this import Paho. Yep. All right, so it says def on connect. Connect goes out connect. Even though these functions are not originally defined as part of your class, when you call them as if they are methods on your class. So we have on connect 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the self. Okay. It's requiring 5. So let's try that sub. Turn code. Interesting. It failed to connect, and it doesn't say why. Unconnect self, right? So this is to fix it. Just add the self argument 1, 2, 3, 4. User data flags. Unconnect client. Def unconnect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What about this? I see. So you can see here, right? It was like a line that I missed. Well, there you go, guys. That's what we need to use. It was there. It's fixed. It's always about user error, right? Connected to MQTT broker, but we seem to drop out straight away. So I think we need to run it in the background. How do they do it in this tutorial here? They run it. They just run it like that. Okay, so what we want to do is not call loops stop, subscribe, connect async. Let's just go while true. Let's leave it here. While true. While true. And while true. Do nothing. Maybe just sleep. There's a sleep in the pub, I think, somewhere. Time.sleep. Message count. Okay, so time.sleep. You just go time.sleep 1. And this is interesting because it gets okay, so we break after messages at 5, but we'll just we in this one here, we just go line equals read line. We want to just go read line. I hadn't done this in a long time. So we could just go to our favorite tool for exploring reference manuals, find.com, and ask the question in Python, how do I read a line and read a line from the C in? From C in. Okay. So yeah, okay. So just do input. That's right. Input. Press a key. Right. Type. Enter to exit. And so this should just leave it here for us. We shouldn't even need to, once we subscribe, we'll just sleep for 1 second and let's see what happens here. So we do the sub, press enter to exit, and so we have one new client connected. So we're going to do the publication, and the publication has the same problem with the connection. So we're going to fix that. We're going to use the one that's used for PAHO MQTT2, which requires the properties parameter. Okay, so the Stack Overflow help is good, but not exactly what we need. Because we don't need to put in self because we're not doing it in the class. And we should be able to, at this point, run the publication. Send. Okay. And then exit. And did this. And we received it on the topic. So topics are like our endpoints where we're going to take our data and where we're going to post it. So there you go, guys. On macOS, we've got a MQTT broker / server running. It's picking up messages from a PAHO client written in Python. And from here, we can take these components and start doing basically embedded systems. So we'd have one unit. If we have, our next goal is to set up a server that's accessible. So we'd have to give it access to, give our local area network a DHCP server that would give a static IP address to one of the machines. We would then connect to the IP address from this machine, and we would need to basically have the broker running on the server, which is behind me, and the some unit publishing to that service and another unit subscribing to the service. So it's just a simple introduction to explore the kind of basic ideas. There are some really good tutorials if you want to explore this further about integrating Raspberry Pi, but this is a good stepping stone if you're in the Mac space and you want to explore MQTT and IoT with Mac OS. Jump on PAHO client and Mosquito PAHO client, and Mosquito broker for MQTT. And so that's it, guys. And what are we going to do next week? What can we do? What are we going to explore? I'm still interested in looking at some data. Like I've been recommended actually by an old friend of mine of some things to look at. So I'm going to have a look at that list and pick something from random and dive into it and just do a video about it. See what it is. See if I can run it on Mac. don't have a PC or Linux installed on any of the machines here. But guys, thank you very much for jumping in with me and exploring MQTT on Mac, and I'll see you next week at the next episode. Bye.